It's about that time. I present to you TAMIKA SCOTT.
It's about that time. I got love on my mind. To do what? Do all the things you want. Come on. I know what you wanted. How good does it love to be? Tonight you'll get the answer. I satisfy your curiosity. Take me away to ecstasy. I wanna know how it feels to be loved. Come on. Boy, take your time. I have all night. I'm gonna show you what I've been thinking of. Come on. Let's go.
I've been going through this my whole life. I'm tired.
Tamika,
I'm tired, Mama. I'm tired.
If you so tired,
I'm tired.
you should have came and talked
Mama,
to
I've
me.
been talking to you about it. You know they stole my money.
Ain't nobody stole
You
no
know
money.
they did. You know they did. You sit here acting like you don't know.
Cut the cameras off.
It was the whispering and it was the giggling. When I walk in the room, they get quiet. So I always felt like, dang, sometimes I felt like I was a mistake.
Isn't that mental abuse though?
Yes, definitely a form of emotional abuse. But before we get into all that, first of all, let me just say thank you for clicking on this video. What's up? Hopefully you're enjoying your day or your night whenever you see this video. I appreciate you to the utmost. Also, did you rock out in the beginning? Hopefully you did. That was my goal. I was hoping that, I started off with a bang, okay? If you don't know too by now, you have officially made it to the 11th chapter. My name is Taka. I'm going to be your narrator. If you subscribe, I can be your internet sis. But nonetheless, at the very least, I will be your narrator. And yeah, look, today we're talking about TAMIKA SCOTT. This video is dedicated to her. Before we go further, let me just say this too. What you're about to hear is nothing more than the thoughts and opinions of myself. Okay, I'm sure after this video is done, y'all gonna have a whole lot of thoughts and opinions. So I will be sticking around for it and anticipating it. Yeah, I will be anticipating it. Stick around, stick beside it. It's gonna be a long video, but stick beside it. First, I'm just gonna leave it there. Let's get into it. Who is TAMIKA SCOTT? Who is she?
Cooking rice and collard greens.
Tamika definitely was the crazy, funny one. Hilarious.
The thing about Tamika, she can make light of any situation. And that's what I love about her. I would have been crying like that. And everybody be like, Tash, it's okay. But Tamika's like, girl, I made TMZ. I failed. She was like, but it was so pretty that I fell like this. And I came up like this. I was like,
And Tamika started about 3 years old because she didn't want her sister to outdo her in anything. They were very competitive.
I would try to outsing her, but she always won because she had the better voice.
Now they usually say I'm not gonna forget where I came from, and that's exactly what we did not do. We did not forget, so we're here to support, and we love everybody. Just letting everybody know that.
Now, if you was gonna get a behind whipping, you can expect it from Tamika, because Tamika did not play.
I'm the fighter, I'm the protector.
So all the videos I saw trying to make this one, I definitely would have to agree she's a fighter and a protector. Unfortunately, one of the people or two that she's been fighting with lately is her mom and her sister. So I'm just gonna recap that right quick too.
Jesus be with me. Tasha is definitely my mom's favorite child. It's been like that since we were kids, and I don't know why.
When your daddy walked out on me and he didn't care whether we swim or sank. I am the fifth member. How about that?
I think a lot of my mom's hurt comes from her and my father's divorce. She was a housewife. And when they broke up, it was like we had to struggle. We went through a lot. I really don't think she healed from that.
I don't deserve disrespect on no level.
I feel like I get beat up on because when my mom looks at me, she see my dad. I'm a daddy's girl. We act just alike.
I'm that silent member that keep you and Tasha together.
No, Mama.
That show you the way, tell you right from wrong, whether you want to
always
believe
tell
it
me
or not.
I'm wrong, Mama. You
Tamika,
that fifth member that
somebody
tells
got
me
to tell
I'm wrong.
you.
But I'm not always wrong, Mama.
I did not disrespect my mom. I would never disrespect my mom. I was just voicing my opinion. That little girl that's been trapped in, that's been dealing with this all my life, finally came out. And the way she came out may have seemed disrespectful, but I have apologized to my mom.
Y'all, we're gonna there's gonna be a lot to unpack about this situation. Interesting enough, I spoke in a video I did about Latasha, about how I believe, you know, the little girl inside of her, the inner child in her, is still seeking validation. I had that feeling of insecurities due to not being seen or being called names and teased for how she looked to her parents. And when it comes to her sister, interesting enough, she brought that up about the little girl and her. Everything from all accounts to the information that I know so far, and I'm gonna break it down to y'all, I think at the root cause of her, you know, trauma and issues and why she's being a people pleaser, why she's taking so much mess, why she is a fighter and a protector, is because she never felt like she was being seen. She also felt rejected. She felt misunderstood. Of loneliness. I believe loneliness is a big issue with her, and I'm gonna break down all of it. Also, this is gonna be the very unpopular opinion. I know I'm about to trigger some people and rattle some spirits, but the issue is not just her mother. The issue is just as much her father. I don't think she has identified it.
Okay, number one, we never ever had any physical altercations. We never hit one another. But you know, abuse doesn't just mean somebody hitting you. Somebody can hit you with words. Someone can be jealous to the point where you just, you know, get tired of hearing nagging. And during that time, I was a police officer. So when I dealt with, you know, crisis, people, you know, getting killed, getting shot, ran over, running on a tractor trailers, when you come home, you need to have that peace and serenity. You don't need to hear all this in your ear. Like I say, we divorced, but I was there for my children. And the age that we were left was like 15 and 13. So they were teenagers, and they were not small little children like I just walked off with little infants, you know, and stuff like that. No, that didn't happen. I was at their graduations. I was at their dance. Everything that occurred in their school, I was there. And so, no, I never divorced my kids.
Well, I feel it's safe to assume for the people who was advocating for the father, this is what y'all heard, that is why y'all advocated for him, as well as probably because Tamika said that she was a daddy's girl and she's still close with her father. And also just hearing the mother speak negatively of the father.
After my dad left, it was just her. So a lot of times on Father's Day, I call her and say Happy Father's Day because she's been the mom and the dad.
Not saying that my mom was a bad mom. My mom was a great mother. She worked hard. When her and my dad broke up, my mama worked 2 jobs and made sure me and my sister was good.
When they broke up, it was like we had to struggle. We went through a lot.
Shout out to Make It Make Sense. When I tell you, he did an amazing job on this interview. He's so intellectual. He gave such wisdom. He made it easier for me to, you know, be able to get these points across because his interview was so good. So definitely check him out. Also, if you check him out, you will hear that the father also alluded to the fact that he was not being faithful. He was cheating, low-key. The men are the biggest emotional cheaters there is. He talked about being a police officer, having to deal with so much and then come home and have to deal with nagging.
Okay, so I didn't make a whole lot of money. So, you know, the courts go by what you make. During that time when I first started policing, I want to say back in 81, we made maybe $600 a month. Okay, so out of the $600, the court, they look at a percentage of how much you make because you have to survive too. So on the little money that I made at that time wasn't a whole lot, but I survived. You know, it wasn't something where I had money to do this and do that. I had to use what I made in order to survive. And so she worked, and she worked at J.C. Penney's in Forest Park. She don't even remember that. And so she probably was making more than what I was making. And then with my child support, that put her in the category more than what I was getting a month. You know, so the thing is, I never ever neglected my kids when it came to child support. There was time when they came after I had given child support and they needed something. I went in my pocket because those are my daughters. And it take a sick man to not to look out for his girls, you know. And I always wanted my girls, even my daughters now, to be able to come to their dad. But like I said, Tasha was close to Gloria. TAMIKA has always been close to her daddy.
A lot of people was in the previous video in the comments. They were saying how, you know, Latasha's just brainwashed. The mother has projected her feelings about the father onto her. A lot of YouTubers have showed pictures of, you know, the father with the daughters as receipts to there was a relationship. Clearly, he's always been in their life. He's had access to his children. He's not an absentee father. However, it's coming off as the mother and Latasha believe that he did not do his best. TAMIKA, honestly, I can't say that she believes he didn't do his best, but his best wasn't good enough. She said too that they struggled, this and that. And she's just more forgiving, and Latasha is just not. Children, siblings, they internalize things different. One child may feel one way, another child might feel the other way about a parent, even though they had the same experience with that one parent. And I want to show y'all something.
Remember when the school district made all of those cutbacks last month? Mm-hmm. Well, I was one of the cutbacks. I lost my job. But don't worry, everything is fine. I've got some good prospects.
Mama, they fired you? But why you?
Oh, Tosh, what you mean, why? They always fire the niggas first.
Andre, don't use that word.
Mama, why didn't you tell us you got fired?
Baby, I didn't tell you because I didn't want to worry you.
I ain't worried. I'm mad.
Are we going on welfare?
No.
Hell no. I straight jack somebody before you catch me in the county line.
You can't even jack Dion.
Hey, look, everybody stop it. Now, I'm going to get a job. I have always worked, and I'm going to get a job. I promise. So everybody just calm down, all right?
Why don't you just ask Daddy to help us?
Yeah, go ahead, call him, Tasha. And I'm sure he'll come running over here with big old bags full of money, just like he always does when he needs something.
Look who's talking, Mr. I'll jack somebody.
Well, if I have to jack somebody, I will.
Hey, I'm going to jack somebody if you all don't cut it out.
She always act like Daddy gonna help us. He ain't gonna
He will.
Oh, he will? All right, cool. Here, call him. Oh, I forgot. You don't even know where his sorry ass is.
Andre!
I hate you!
Andre, boy, what is wrong with you? You can't tear your sister down like that. You know how she feels about her father. Look, we gotta stick together and support each other.
I wasn't expecting that, huh? Look, some people are visual learners, so I gotta put that in there so you can understand where I'm coming from. But yeah, you know, life imitates art sometimes, or art imitates life, both, if you ask me. Nonetheless, this right here, this is what I'm trying to say. This is real. You know, you can have a situation where it's a single mother or even a single father, and you know, siblings are different. They internalize things different. Some of them will always advocate for a parent, even if it's a parent that's not doing their best, and others will not. They just not here for it. They have less tolerance.
After my dad left, it was just her. So a lot of times on Father's Day, I call her and say Happy Father's Day because she's been the mom and the dad.
Yeah, this is a beautiful picture. It's from TAMIKA's website, and I believe it was in 2017. A very heartfelt, beautiful message to her mama on her birthday, and it reads, "I can't let this month end without wishing the best mother in the universe, my mother, Mama Gloria, a happy birthday. I love you so much, Mama. Thank you for always being there for me and Latasha. You held down the fort and represented as a mom and a dad. I love you unconditionally. There is no one that can ever take your place. Happy birthday, Super Mama, hashtag birthday, hashtag mom, hashtag blessed, hashtag happy, hashtag XSCAPE, hashtag TAMIKA SCOTT."
I would say from 5, I had a fairy tale life. You know, my parents were together. We went to church. My father was a deacon. My mom was like a head in the choir.
Okay.
We had a great life. And my father was a police officer. And Christmas was always great because we always had I had the Cabbage Patch doll, one with the Xavier Roberts now. Xavier Roberts went on the butt. That wasn't a real Cabbage Patch kid.
Right.
So you can turn it over and I'm like, oh yeah, she's real. She's real. When Atari came out, we was the first African American kids to have the Atari in our neighborhood. Wow. So everybody wanted to come over our house and play oh, they got an Atari. And we had all the games. So it was like growing up was like wonderful. We sung, family time. It was great. It was like life was perfect until I turned 12. That's when, it's like my world came tumbling down. My parents, they were the center of the church as this perfect relationship. Right. And it just, my mom told us that they were getting a divorce and me and my sister, we didn't understand it. You know what I mean? Like, what? It was just unreal. And it's like when they broke up, our world really changed because my mom was a single mom. I'm not a single mom. She wasn't working. She was a housewife. Right. So, she didn't have no job, really no education like that because she graduated from high school. She was following her husband. Right. She helped lift her husband up in his ministry and helped lift him up in the law enforcement field he was in. And it was like she had nothing. Wow. So we went from having everything to being darn near homeless. So it was like, what's going on here? We were trying to figure it out. Right.
And what was that experience for you? Like being homeless, what did you feel?
Oh, gosh, I can't even explain how I felt at the time. I was confused. I was angry. But I put on my protective coat. And I was like, okay, I was hurt by the man that I loved. So I have to protect what I have, which was my mom and my sister. So I became, even though I'm the younger sister, I became the big sister. Wow. So I had to protect her. I had to protect my mom. It was like nobody else is going to hurt us ever again like this.
Oh no, one to share my love and no one to care. The one who's here to take care of me. Nobody. Why must I feel so lonely without you here? Oh, I wish it was over. Be a dream. And when I think of all the times we shared, I can't make up to stop. That's why I wanna go outside in the rain, so no one can see me cry. I wanna go outside in the rain to drown my pain, my pain. Oh Lord, I see.
Look, the father said he made $600 a month. That's, I believe, the equivalent to anywhere between $1,500 to $2,500 a month now. And we all know the way things are, that's not a lot of money even now. You're going to be pinching pennies for sure. So I want to be empathetic, and considerate to everybody's plight. However, y'all heard what y'all just heard. And for the people who say, Latasha is just making, or Latasha's just going with what her mother said. Do you still feel that way? If you do, tell me in the comments. It's not at all, I'm not advocating or caping for nobody. Caping for nobody. I just want us to see all perspectives and realize everything is a perspective. Speaking of, listen to this.
Okay, I want to say this. Now, if you was going to get a behind whipping, you can expect it from Tamika. Because Tamika did not play. She was aggressive, combative, belligerent. She was one of my daughters. I tell anybody, you don't want to make her mad. Now, as growing up, and I said this on yesterday, I've never seen Latasha angry. I've never heard her cuss. She was like the quiet storm. So it was like day and night with Tasha and Tamika. But they still had their own expertise. They were good in what they did. But it doesn't mean because Tasha was quiet that she was worse or better than Tamika. It's just that was her character. And you can't expect both of them to have the same characteristics. That coming up, Tasha was the quiet person. She never gave us any trouble, me and Gloria in trouble, where she was in school. Now, Tamika, well, I'm telling you, that girl ran us for our money. She wasn't a joke. She was nothing to play with. But still, I love her just like I love Tasha.
Whippings.
So what was your most memorable whooping?
Well, I remember, like, my sister, she's 2 years older than me, but I'm the fighter. Like, I'm the protector. And she would let people talk about her. And, you know, like, we're taught, turn the other cheek. But see, I think I missed that sermon because I might have been playing with my nails or something. But one time, this guy at school, he just kept messing with her. He just calling her names on the bus. And she, you know, she kept looking out the window. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get him. So we got off the bus. I found the biggest boulder I could find, the biggest rock. And I snuck punched him with the rock upside his head. When he fell down, I just started whamming. And at that time, my dad, he's a police officer. So he was driving by. He always come when we get off the bus. And he saw me beating this boy up like crazy. He comes and he grabbed me and he put me over his shoulder and he started whamming. I just started tearing my butt up until we got home.
He started beating you in front of the other people that
we got whoopings.
In front of the guy you just beat?
Yes, and I didn't understand that. So
Okay, y'all, allow me to interject for just a second so I can point this out. I mean, it's actually clear, but as y'all can see, everyone has the same sentiments about, you know, Tamika. Everyone is describing her the same, including herself, okay? Even her daddy, she's daddy's little girl. Daddy is saying the same exact thing. So I just want to point that out and just keep watching. But look, and also let me just say this. There's a cause and effect for everything. People are the way they are for a reason. That's all I was trying to say about the LaTasha video. And I'm going to explain my opinions of why it is with Tamika.
And Tamika started about 3 years old because she didn't want her sister to outdo her in anything. They were very competitive.
I would try to outsing her, but she always won because she had the better voice.
Well, if you go on our page, you'll see me playing the piano with Tasha and Tamika. But you know, Natasha's voice developed first. And Tamika's voice was still in the phase of development. And so I would, you know, tell her, you're gonna be able to sing just like your sister one day. And I would always encourage her. I would say that. And sure enough, it happened. One day she just started singing. And
on the right thing to decide. Will I take the wrong direction? Oh, my life, where will I go? Will I go ahead of me? I have strong determination, and I'm not afraid of change. I have yet to find that someone who can satisfy me, so stay right by me.
I said, man, you can sing. And it got better and got better.
I have yet to find that someone who can satisfy me and stay right by me.
But you know, every child, if another child can draw better than them or cook better than them or getting more notoriety and popularity, it's going to cause a little hardship and a little, you know, jealousy. So the only thing that I can say is this, that I was there for Tamika to overcome that inferiority complex. That's what I would call it. She felt that she wasn't as good as Tasha.
There's no doubt in my mind. I do not think at all that the father meant any harm. He was trying to psychologically damage his child or pit them against each other. Not at all. But what I will say, parents, you have to learn your children. Study your children. All children aren't the same. Parenting is not a one-size-fits-all. One child can take the beating, although, I mean, personally, I think it's lazy parenting, but that's a whole nother discussion. One child might be able to take the beating and they come out, grow up, and, you know, find another child because emotionally they are different. Maybe, you know, they're more sensitive. It could traumatically affect them. They end up being a crackhead. Really seriously, we have to learn your children, learn their personality types, learn what they like. pay attention to how sensitive they are. If they're quiet, if they keep secrets, if they hold things inside, if they're very vocal, you have to do that.
Tamika just, I guess, felt that my dad is a police officer and I can do things. And she got away with things. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was on my way to work in a full uniform. I see this young lady going across the street in front of Tri-City. I said, that look like my daughter. And sure enough, Tamika was skipping school.
She seemed like she was a little mischievous. She seemed like she's probably the mischievous one.
And she had every type of story in the book. I took her across the street to Crystal to get her some breakfast. You know, they already served breakfast at the school. So so that was a lie right there. But anyway, I took her across the street, you know, bought her what she wanted and took her back to the school. So it's been many times I've had an altercation with Tamika. But like I said, you know, that was the baby girl.
All right, so let's keep it a buck. Yes, Tamika, she put her parents through a lot. She was the rebel. Shit, she was a hellraiser. You know, Latasha was the sugar, she was the spice.
So why don't you stay a while? Stay a while, baby. I can help it if you put me in a day. Cause you look so good to me. Think what's in your touching PJ. Let's burn off by candlelight, and listen to the quiet storm. As I lick you in the places that makes your body warm.
But she's also compassionate and she's a protector. She's a fighter, but she's sensitive too.
Even though I'm the younger sister, I became the big sister. So I had to protect her, I had to protect my mom. It was like nobody else is gonna hurt us, everybody. So I had to pull up my, what you call it, big girl briefs.
Everything is gonna be alright. Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Yeah. We don't need no lights. We don't need no lights. No. I'm gonna make you feel right. I'm gonna make you feel right. We're gonna do it all night. We can do it all night, baby.
I wanted a family. I didn't want to be an outcast. I didn't want them not to love me anymore. So I took a lot of things, not just off of them, but also off my mom. So I did not want to be out here without love. So of course I let things ride, but to have that thrown back in my face, my loyalty to my family.
Going back to church, Elder Tucker was our pastor then. He said, I want the Scott sisters to stand up. So me and my sister stood up and the church started clapping. And he said, I also want to say thank you because they donated $10,000. Me and Tasha looked at each other like, who donated $10,000 to the church? My mom was in the choir with her hat on like, I was like, I'm going to get you after this. I was like, okay, mama, your name is going out the bank account.
You're gonna come to learn about me. Look, I stay with my Expect the Gadget hat around. I be on my Jessica Fletcher. If you know who that is, tell me in the comments. I'm punctilious for sure. I'm just saying, look, the mother, she did not steal that money. I put that clip in there though, because I'm just saying, they had a joint bank account. That says a lot. That says a lot that as adults, they have a joint bank account. I love my family. I love my mama. I love my siblings. I'm not having no joint bank account with them. I'm not. Maybe a credit card that, but no, I'm not having a joint bank account. And if she took $10,000, then that means there was at least $10,000, if not more, and these adults are sharing the bank account. So it says a lot that they're close, they're a close family. Even when they were having hard times, they moved in with the mama. Even the mama let the husband move in. And old school people usually for all that. But yeah, so it says a lot. But, my point is, mom took that money without telling them. I'm just saying, she took the money without telling them. Now look, I think Rocky stole that money by himself. I think Rocky stole the money. Latasha looked the other way. The mother looked the other way. And I will say this, I know some people are not going to agree. I think she would have did the same thing for Tamika. But yeah, I don't know. I think Rocky's the thief, allegedly. Nonetheless, more importantly,
serenade you, show you where the Scotts get it from.
You want to do some competition, baby? Who won? What? What y'all got to say about that?
East Coast always in me, Commonwealth, Lil Joe, getting love from my city. I roll call for the DMV. In my own lane, you could still ride with me.